Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description.
Okay, so this video is on the idea of what happens if I don't pronounce the phrases in the Simon Necronomicon correctly. Are the spirits going to be mad? Are they going to be offended? Is my magic even going to work? And this comes from a guy who's currently emailing me a bunch of questions, asking some good stuff about working with the 50, and I thought this was a very pertinent question that, a lot of people might be wondering, or a lot of people are asking. And, with practice and, paying attention to the pronunciation guide where the majority of letters are phonetically pronounced, except for, an S, which is more of a tss, like a TS, like a hiss sound. And, X's are more like a k sound, like you're clearing the throat. And then you have the vowel sounds. Of course, you can look it up in the pronunciation guide in the beginning of the Simon Necronomicon. And practice makes proficiency with this stuff. There's still some of the really long words that I have difficulty with, but I've found ways to break them down. What you can do a lot of times is, and I suggest this with anything, is if you're gonna read something and make a ritual out of it, write it down yourself, because the act of writing it is that feedback loop of I see it, I write it, I internalize it. So not only are you looking at it, but the fact that you're writing something and is more of, it's another layer of internalizing it, and then break it down into syllables. Back in when I was teaching reading, we would do a swoop method where you'd make like a little smiley face almost under a syllable. So, for like 3 letters, you would swoop from the first letter to the third letter and then keep going. So you break down syllables. Now you can do those in boxes, you can do little swoop things, whatever. You can circle the syllables, just help you break it down, and then practice. But, sometimes it's not what you say, but it's the energy behind what you say, which is why you can say, hooray, or you can say, hooray. That one word said 2 different ways, you got the energy and the intention behind it, right? So, of course, practice makes perfect, and you're not just going to practice reading the words out a million times before you're like, okay, I think I did it right, now I'm going to go and summon a spirit. My suggestion is, when you're working with the 50, give it a shot, Give it your best intention, give it your all. Practice the pronunciation on your own a little bit, and then when you get a little bit comfortable, then practice it. Because, it's one thing to practice in front of a mirror, and then it's another thing to actually do the thing. And even when you're doing the thing, you are technically practicing the thing. So when you step into your temple and you light the 2 candles and you're going to work with one of the 50, then you've practiced a little bit, and then you start your Z Anakanpa, Z Kiakanpa, Z Anakanpa, hear me, O thou blank, come to me by the powers of the word blank, and answer my urgent prayer, Z Kiakanpa, Z Anakanpa. So, the difficulty in pronunciation might be with the Z Kiakanpa, Z Anakanpa, but that's kind of easy stuff. But then when you get into different words and power words and names, like Bakakaduga for one of the power words, or, Gigi Maganpa, or, Lugalab Dubur, Lugalana, a bunch of different names here. We're practicing them as we go, and your intention behind it, where you really want to communicate with that spirit, and your intentions are good, they're not selfish, things like that, your energy will follow that. So then, this time your pronunciation might be a little off, but your energy and intention of desiring to communicate with that spirit, that's what you should trust. Know that pronunciation and proper execution of the overall ritual itself, not just the pronunciation, will come with time. But the more you practice, the better. And don't hold yourself back and be like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. What do we have there when we're like, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right? We have hesitation. We have fear. Anything that you hesitate on, anything that you have fear on, you are more likely to screw up. So, have confidence in knowing that your desire and your intention to work with the spirits is what is going to make it work. Now, I always jump on little side tangents here because there is although I do these little subjects, it's always a bigger picture. The first time, the second time, the third time, maybe even the 10th time that you're working with the 50 names of Marduk or invoking any spirit for that matter might not, prove, quote, successful. You might not get different things going bump in the night. You might not get any intentions and ideas and even a voice or anything like that coming up through your subconscious or actually into your ears. That all comes with time. You can check out my recent video on how to hear spirits easier. And I'm planning on making one soon about how to see spirits easier. That might be one that I'm going to do probably maybe sometime today, maybe within the next couple of days, but you guys aren't going to see it for like a week or two, something like that. I don't know about the scheduling and whatnot. This video is going out actually a couple months after I am making it, just because I always try to stay ahead of schedule on stuff. On a side note, if you guys have any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, issues, anything you want me to answer, please let me know in the comments or by email. If you want quicker answers than the videos that I'm making, because I always make them months ahead of time, consider joining my Patreon. You can do it for very, very little money. And then you have access to a lot of early release content and really quick responses from me, coaching, all of that kind of good stuff. But let me know about your experiences with working with the 50 Names of Marduk or pronouncing any kinds of magical words and phrases when you are doing your spell work and any difficulties or successes you may have had. Good hunting.
Thanks for watching my video. So if you want to check out my playlists, I have, among others, the Simon Necronomicon, the Tree of Life, General Magic, Tulpamancy, a playlist on my books, the elements, stones, the theories that govern magic, and the gods and goddesses of Mesopotamia. If you want to check out my books on Amazon, I have Creating Consciousness, Magical Mechanics, Magical Theater, Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Movement, which is an update and expansion upon Handy Sigil Magic, Magical Mastery, which is a combination masterwork of Magical Theater and Magical Mechanics, and The Guide to the Spheres and Beyond. You can also find me on Facebook at Magickology YT. You can email me at priestofthenecro@gmail.com, and you can even check out my Instagram, which is Magickology. And good hunting.